Hello. Let's work on some ambient music with Bitwig Studio. I've got a track that's pretty much completed. Calling it Awareness. It's part of an album called Sanctuary that I'm coming back around to. I had started it, I think last year, maybe even. I have a bunch of sketches. I don't know in what state they're in, but this Awareness was one of the ones that was almost complete. I've actually published it on SoundCloud, and right now we're just going to go through and listen to a couple of spots. The Autochroma puts an interesting kind of sheen on the piano track. It can take it quite far. It can kind of chop it up and mince it up a little bit. The piano is coming from this Falcon Aurora plugin. It's really beautiful. It has 3 layers, a piano, a texture, and an atmosphere layer. And essentially to create this ambience, I'm just mixing in the layers. It's very powerful, hypnotic. So just 3 instruments on this track. I think I will leave the Aurora Autochroma a little bit low. So, 42% kind of peaking, and having, staggering out these layers, the introduction of the layers and using them in as the song builds. Hopefully it keeps the listener's attention. And actually, it's not really focal point music. It's sort of background music, ambient music you can put on and relax. So for this song, I think it sounds good. There was just some kind of loudness I wanted to iron out that I think was caused by the velocity layers on a few notes, velocities of a few notes that caused them to be more prominent. So we'll just go ahead and bounce this or export this audio. A fairly high bit rate, 32-bit floating point, 48 kilohertz sample rate, so pretty high. And this is under the new album called Sanctuary, and the track is called Awareness. And I will export and overwrite the previous export. I've already done mixing and mastering to minus 14 LUFS. I know there's debate and difference of opinion about having a LUFS target and what that LUFS target should be. And, honestly, saying the loudness should serve the music. In the context of an album, I think we should have a common target across songs, so the album is relatively balanced. And I like generally having a lower LUFS value. I don't think I need to push with my music the loudness up into, taking all the headroom out and, having it like minus 5 LUFS, minus 2 LUFS. I think minus 14 LUFS is a good target. I know it's industry recommended by Spotify and Apple, so that could be kind of reason for people to push back on having that specific value as a target. So I don't know. Suffice it to say, I just want to have a common target, and minus 14 is what I've chosen here. And that also gives the listener a little bit more control of their volume choice when they listen to the track. They can turn it up or down. Some of these songs that are mixed to like minus 5 LUFS, minus 2 LUFS, there's only so far you can turn it down. It's loud, like at the lowest volume level. I think that takes away the listener's choice. All right, so we'll go ahead and I just uploaded this track today already, and I've been previewing it. We'll go ahead and replace the file on SoundCloud. Awareness. Okay, we can amplify the track. Now that I've done a little bit of revision on that, it might be a good time to amplify it. Oops, actually, I was working earlier with this solo album, which is another one. But we're in Sanctuary Awareness. We'll upload this, high definition WAV, which is actually, not too bad file size for raw file format. And this is basically, it's AI generated image, but this is like the kind of weather and the season here in Finland currently, where the sun doesn't quite, it kind of goes down. It's a little bit dark out here, but it's getting later and later. I think it went down at like 11 p.m. and here in a month or so, it's gonna just stay. The sun will be right below the horizon. It does go into the twilight, but not far. It's twilight almost all night, and the sun's coming up. Like, I think at like 4 a.m. now. So there's some new stuff under advanced. Ooh, it's not very new though. I've been able to select the segment. Sounds good. You know, good enough to share. I think that's the nice thing. Just being able to share the music. Work on it. Be inspired. But don't be too, perfectionist. All right, we'll save that. So this track is now live on Spotify. SoundCloud, sorry. Eventually Spotify, probably. Once the album is published. Yeah, and I'll give SoundCloud a little bit more time to sort of get a feel for this song before I boost it. Cool. That's done and dusted. Let's go ahead and work on another song from this album while we're here. So we've got Awareness and Sanctuary, and Acceptance is done in VCB Rack. And I may or may not need to bring it in and sequence it. Let's just see what else we have. Clearness, interesting. Clearness. A lot of these might be sketches, like little themes that I don't know what to do with. Signscapes, or this is ambient oriented. This album is an ambient album. It's 25 measures, so it's about 1 minute long. Oh yeah, interesting. So we're using Eternal Arps here. Signscapes. This is a weird one. Meow. Hey, I'm not sure what to do with this one right now, so let's come back to that. This was a sketch I made the other night, and I'm not feeling it right now. Contemplation. All right, do we have anything in the arranger? So this is a sketch. So nothing on the timeline. Huh. Okay, so it's this one. Nordic spheres. Okay, so this will be an interesting one. I have to figure out what's going on with the The Nordic Spheres Library. I moved everything to a new hard drive. So a bunch of things. Well, this is not going to be super exciting to stream. So I'll have to take this off stream. Plus, I just realized OBS is freezing again. Dang it. All right, well, another day. So thanks for stopping by. I hope at least the audio was coming through. I'm sorry that the Bitwig screen is frozen. I hope you're doing well and have a great day.